The SEAL motto is the only easy days yesterday, so that would infer that, hey, you're always uncomfortable. They make us do plenty of drills and different training throughout my career, specifically more in BUD/S, that's teaches you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If you take drown proofing, they tie your hands and feet, throw you in the pool, make you do a whole bunch of drills. To a lot of people, that would be uncomfortable. Right? Your hands and feet are tied, you're in a pool. And there's 6 instructors swimming around and they're not gonna let you drown. It's 6 months long. It's big, it's overwhelming, but I broke everything down into one bite at a time. Because if you focused on, hey, look, how am I gonna get through 6 months, that would be much too overwhelming for me. So I broke everything down into one meal, one bite. So hey, if I could make it to breakfast, awesome. If I can make it to lunch, even better. Dinner, okay, cool, let's see if I can do it again the next day. And I did that throughout my entire career, no matter what I was involved in, what I was doing. Everything was down, prioritized list, top to bottom, one bite at a time, the most important things first. And then the things that didn't need to be dealt with, I just simply moved to the side and I wouldn't worry about. The more pressure, the smaller bites, because you've got so much going on. I look at everything that way. I've been in so many miserable situations that just plain suck. Okay, you're gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But if you can sit back, look at yourself, laugh about it. I've been in some crazy gunfight situations, you name it, where everybody's miserable, but you look to your left and right, you see your buddies, they're kind of laughing and joking, and you're like, okay, all right. I honestly, and you talk to different guys, some guys say, hey, they thought about quitting every day at BUD/S. I honestly never thought about quitting. Every single day, did I think, wow, this sucks? Absolutely. Yeah, it sucked every minute. But the way I looked at it was, hey, look, I looked at these instructors. If they can do it, I can do it. There's nothing that they've done that I can't accomplish as well. The majority of the people that don't make it through the program simply quit. So they choose not to be there. Not that they couldn't do it physically, but they choose not to be there.
Look. It's your call. Do what they won't, so you can do what they can't. They don't really want it. Not like you. They don't want the pain.
That's impossible.
You should just quit.
Don't want that grind. So rack it up. Rep it out. Make them burn. What's it gonna be? You gonna break? Or break through?
The one line I always liked was, I'm going to do today what other people aren't willing to, so I can do tomorrow what other people can't. I always love that line of like whenever I'm training by myself, kind of always like running lines like that through my head when I'm suffering. Like people aren't willing to do this right now. You're the only one in here. And then when I get to a competition and I'm able to outperform someone on something, like I did yesterday what you didn't, so that I can do today what you can't. The hard work I'm putting in right now, it'll pay off, but it'll pay off in the end. What are you doing when no one's looking? I don't want that fear to go away. I hate it. It's a very unenjoyable feeling, but at the same time, it's like when I'm scared that I'm not capable in a workout, I really focus.
The section that's applicable here is
regarding giving up is that people just quit on their marriages. They just quit on their families. If things get too hard or they don't like their wife or husband, they don't want to work through it, they just leave. They get a better option. Listen to this little piece here where the lady speaks about why it's difficult for very beautiful women to stay married, maybe very beautiful men as well, because they have so many options. If things go tough, they don't work through it or fix it, they just quit for the next best option. But at the end of the day, then you realize you have never made it or worked for a great marriage. You've just moved from one more lustful, better option to the next. And that is extremely dishonorable. And it says a lot about the type of human being you are.
Here's why attractive women are less likely to get married. In order for a marriage to work, you need to be incredibly forgiving and show a lot of compromise. Now, because attractive women are surrounded by men who are constantly making them promises, whenever her partner's behavior is fallible, she believes that she doesn't have to put up with this because there's men willing to give her everything that she's ever asked for, even though it's not true. And as a result, she becomes less tolerant and compromising and more likely to walk away every time things are becoming difficult. Second reason is throughout the course of a marriage, they tend to desire their woman less and less. Now, attractive women, they find this transition very difficult to deal with because they're surrounded by men who are almost tripping over themselves to tell her how beautiful she is. When she's with a man who slowly is becoming indifferent to her appearance, she finds this very difficult to put up with. So instead of accepting that this is a natural process, she'll simply replace the man to receive the same validation that she's used to receiving all the time. And as a result, she's less likely to settle down.
I honestly, and you talk to different guys, some guys say, hey, they thought about quitting every day at Buds. I honestly never thought about quitting. Every single day, did I think, wow, this sucks? Absolutely. Yeah, it sucked every minute. But the way I looked at it was, hey, look, I looked at these instructors. If they can do it, I can do it. There's nothing that they've done that I can't accomplish as well. The majority of people that don't make it through the program simply quit. So they choose not to be there. Not that they couldn't do it physically, they choose not to be there.
So some quotes on the left hand side: you get what you work for, not what you wish for. It's not what you wish for, it's what you work for. And then on the right there, you get what you give. You can't expect to get better at anything if you don't give the effort, and intelligent effort at that. So my daughter and Stefani and Jenna Lee had a discussion the other day where my daughter said that why did God make women weaker than men? Now, obviously there's a lot of things going around, like this one's cleverer than that one, and this one's weaker than that one, and that one's faster than that one. But it really comes down in a big way to this sentence: freaking hard work. Do you guys remember that? So if you want to be cleverer, like the mind is a muscle, develop your mind, read, learn new things. If you want to be stronger, you got to train your body. Watch these girls. These girls are stronger than most men. If you want to get stronger, work at it. If you want to get cleverer, develop your mind, learn a whole lot of new things and skills. It comes down to how hard you work at it. God designed the principle of sowing and reaping. You can't expect to be stronger if you aren't doing specific training every day. And if a girl does that, she can get stronger than most men.
Last week, I spoke very briefly to Toma Loredana from Romania, the world champion 2017, four-time European champion. 2017, her best lifts 109, 128. The following year, 110, 131. Then 112, 128, though she did attempt a personal record at 132. 113, 136. And then 114 kilos in 2021. She was a 64 kilo lifter there.
Listen again here what this guy says. She's a 64 kilogram lifter. The girl only weighs 64 kilograms as a grown woman. That is not very... It's not like a giant, some kind of woman that's a giant. She's fairly average. And she's lifting these weights. Guys, you will reap what you sow. It's hard, specific work in whatever field you want to improve.
115 kilos. That's a brilliant lift.
Recently, she squatted 324 pounds for 3 reps with a pause. Her best number in the squat is 1 rep with 400 pounds. This is a very impressive performance in the high bar squat. Her body weight makes it even more impressive.
Hi guys. Come on, JT. JT, you have to give it. One more time, just to. Come on, JT. There you go. Yeah. Come on, JT. Good job. You went up there like twice, right? No kidding. Come on, David. That hook doesn't work here. Thanks.
You record me on the right? Record me on the right?
I just want a picture.
Well, take me a picture.
Guys, now in grappling, this is full-on grappling fighting, submission fighting, where you literally, the guy has to tap out, otherwise you'll break their arm, break their fingers, toes, whatever. So we can see full-on submission fighting here with a guy against a girl. Look how much bigger the guy is than the girl. The girl absolutely destroys him. Shame at the end, the guy's almost like crying. They almost have to carry him off.
Fight!
If you break everything down, I've got some statistics here. This is a culmination of what each BUD/S class has done in a 6-month period of time. Each student runs 1,627 miles during that time, swims 134.2 miles, runs the obstacle course 39 times, conducts 42 dives, spending 61 hours underwater. Each class expends 1,413,000 rounds of small arms ammunition. Each class detonates 13,382 pounds of high explosives. You hike or patrol 150 miles. You complete a combat conditioning course, which is a 12-mile run, wearing 70 pounds of gear in 3 hours or less. And then if you add it all up, basically the equivalent of swimming from Cuba to the southern tip of Florida and then running all the way to New York City. Had they shown me these statistics before I went to BUD/S, no way, I'd be a banker or something. I wouldn't have been a SEAL. It would have been completely overwhelmed. I would have moved right back to Alaska and been, all right, this is not for me. But again, back to breaking everything down, and the majority of the people quit. They thought about 2 months ahead of time rather than worrying about the bite, you know. Little takeaways that I look back on and I think, wow, okay, I apply every single one of these things to my life today, and I got out of the SEALs 2 years ago. The first thing I have is teamwork. There's absolutely zero that I accomplished during my career that I could not have done without a team, period. You gotta put the needs of the team above your own. BUD/S does that repeatedly. They throw you in a boat, make you paddle out through the surf zone. You're already tired, miserable, hungry. And then, you know, the boat gets flipped over in the surf and you gotta work together as a team. It's very easy to see who's willing to put the needs of the team above their own. The folks that pull back and worry about their own needs, they're typically not the ones standing there at the end. Prioritize and eat one bite at a time. I apply that to the stress that I'm under these days. I break it all down, I prioritize it. If I can't affect it, I don't even worry about it. And that's something learned. You don't get good at that from the beginning. Be all in all the time. And he used to ask a lot of the new guys, at what level are you willing to participate? And the only right answer was be all in all the time. Whether you're sweeping the floors, charging a machine gun nest, whatever it is you do, I don't worry about 2 weeks in advance. I worry about what I'm doing right then in the moment, that I'm going to do that as best as I can. Listen, I'm nobody special. I haven't done anything different or better than anybody else, but I look back and think, okay, I lived through that situation. I can deal with this.
Okay, embrace the struggle. It will make you stronger. Don't look so negative on tough times of your past. It was making you stronger, developing you. Do today what others won't, so you can live tomorrow like others can't. You have to put in the work. You've got to work harder than others, and you've got to work smarter than others to live a life that others can't live because they haven't put in your work. And then look how this growth compounds. The work you put in compounds more and more. Look how life compounds. You just focus on day one, and then in a month it adds up, in a year it adds up. Small things add up. How incredible.